All eyes are on Massachusetts Senator-elect Scott Brown. He's the Republican who has turned into a political power player virtually overnight. He's meeting with leaders today on Capitol Hill. Here he is with Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Brown says it's time to help get Washington back on track. So what kind of hurdles will he be facing? We have Republican Rick Santorum. He's the former senator of Pennsylvania. And a Fox News contributor, Penny Lee, was the senior advisor to Senator Harry Reid. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Penny, I want to begin with you. The first person that Scott Brown met with today was Senator John McCain, who said that this victory proves that Americans are furious with the liberal leadership in Washington. You're a Democrat. I'm sure you might disagree with that conclusion, but what message do you think his victory is sending to Washington?
Well, I think, there is no question that we are going to take the lumps that we deserve. That was a defeat that we weren't expecting. But I think there are some good lessons to learn, and that is that the American people want change. They still want it, and we haven't been as effective in communicating how our agenda actually does that. So it's time to regroup, but it's also time to continue fighting forward. There are still some good things about this health care bill that need to be addressed. People still want to have pre-existing conditions gone. There are still some reforms that need to be made. So, it might be a little bit smaller package when we move forward, but there are some great things that as a bipartisanship that we can work together. And I really hope that the Republicans also take this time to say, we want to be constructive and we want to work with you as well.
Okay.
And that this is a good opportunity for the American people.
Okay, so Rick, what do you think the lesson here or the message is today with his victory?
Well, I think Scott Brown nailed it. The fact of the matter is that the Democrats just stopped paying attention to the American public. They came here with a message of hope and change, and what they did is go up to the old liberal addict and throw out every social program and tried to pass national health care. This was not an election about nationalizing the health care system. This was, an election about trying to create jobs, try to increase our security, try to stabilize our economy, and they decided, no, we're gonna spend almost the entire first year trying to pass socialized medicine, and the folks up in Massachusetts, who, by the way, have a dose of it and don't like it very much, are saying, wait a minute, that's not what we want you to do. We want you to pay attention to the problems that we're having, not the dreams and wishes that the left has had for 50 years in this country. And they've got a very clear message that if you're going to fix health care, fine, do it on a modest basis, fix the problems. Don't try to change the whole system and take it over and give it to the government.
So, Penny, does that mean that it's time, as Scott Brown said today, to go back to the drawing board?
Well, I think that is to be determined. The leaders are meeting right now with their caucuses to find out where they are, but they're also listening to the American people as well, who are still struggling. And, they are struggling to get a job. There is some economic perils that we still need to address. And so I think it's bifurcated. You can't just have health insurance or health reform set aside. 17% of our GDP is tied to health care. And so we do need to address it. We need to address it responsibly. And I think this is a time to have this open dialogue and really enter this era of new politics that both President Clinton and now Scott Brown have campaigned for.
President Obama, I know that that's what you mean. And wouldn't that be nice if we could have that bipartisanship? But, Rick, you know how the Senate works. So how is this health care thing going to be hammered out now? Are they starting from scratch, or are they going to save some things?
Well, that's going to be very, very hard for the Democrats to sort of resurrect this thing. The left and Howard Dean, a lot of other Katrina Vanden Heuvel and Arianna Huffington, they're all out there saying, no, the problem is that we weren't bold enough. So he's going to have problems on his left trying to get a minimal bill. They're going to see that as a failure. The bottom line is that what the Democrats say they want to work on right now, they would have loved to have gotten health care off the table, because what the American public is concerned about is huge deficit spending it's hurting our economy. They're worried about creating jobs and doing something to create jobs. And the Democrats are now stuck on health care, which, is not a job creator. This is not going to address, the reason we have low unemployment, high unemployment in this country is not because of health care. They've got to get back on message. And I think trying to create a new health care bill at this point is just going to be too much. I think they're in trouble to get anything done right now.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Penny Lee, Rick Santorum, thanks for coming on to debate.